have a PSA for this video. We're going to talk about cloth pads, menstruation products, stuff that you bleed on from your period, moon cycle, lunar cycle, your red badge of courage, the crimson tide, whatever you call it. That's what we're talking about today. And if you think it's gross or like people should talk about on the internet or you're the problem, maybe you should watch this video so that you can learn something. But also, bye. Bye. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Carmen. Welcome to At Home with Carmen cloth diaper review. Today we're at home, but we're not doing a cloth diaper review. Actually, we're going to be doing a tutorial. Because it's a tutorial about washing cloth pads. So I have cloth pads that need to be washed, and I want to be able to do a review on some of them, but obviously they need to be clean before I do that. So I decided to take this opportunity to film my cloth pad washing routine. What's working for me. Lots of different ways to do it. This is just what I have landed on as having success with it. So if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Also, before I forget, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. If you enjoy content about cloth diapering reviews, candid motherhood, home-centered living, slowing down a little bit, or even herbalism, interested in that type of thing, follow along. I'd love to have you here, and I'll let you know every time I upload a video. So let's go over what I'm using and what's working for me. So number one, I have this bag that has all of the dirty cloth pads in there. They are just snapped up like this, and they've been sitting there. And I also have, this is the everything bucket in our house. So if you are sick and you're going to puke, cleaning cloth pads, all of that good stuff, literally it washes with soap and water, so I'm not worried about it. But the Halloween bucket, as it is called in our home. We'll also need, in this little cup, I have a little bit of the fragrance-free OxiClean powder that I'll use, and then I also have some hydrogen peroxide that we'll also be using. So my first step is going to be to get all of these unsnapped and then fill the bucket up with cold water. Oh, and the reason that we are using cold water is because we don't want to set any stain, so don't put hot water right now. I have my bucket filled with the cold water right now, and I am just going to go ahead and unsnap everything and put it in the bucket here. So I am going to put them face down. Does not matter. I know that some people don't want to see it, so I'm not going to show it. Also, I just personally don't want to show it. I don't know. It's personal. Okay. So just flip it on like that. And once we get it filled, I'll push it down. Alright, so all of them are in there. I did put a little bit more water in there, and I'm just going to push everything down to make sure that it is getting wet. So what I'm doing here is I'm pretty much just rehydrating, because all of the matter that was on the pads is dried now. So I'm just trying to rehydrate it before we go on to the next step to make that a lot easier. Oh, and I'm going to let this sit, I don't know, 10 minutes, or when I remember that I'm doing it, and come back to it. However long it's been. Like I said, I'm just trying to kind of rehydrate all of this. The water does get a little bit gnarly, but not super bad. The next step is definitely when you're going to start seeing a lot more come off of the pads, because we're actually going to start rinsing them under, and I want to rinse them till they're relatively running clear. I have them dumped out. Bucket's empty. I've got the pads here for myself, and I'm going to just start rinsing, and putting them in here as I get them clean. Alright, everything is now all rinsed out. Like I said, I've rinsed it till it's running relatively clear, but trust me, there's still going to be some stuff. So I've got my bucket once again, and this is where I'm going to use the OxiClean with it. So it's just like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 teaspoons. It's just an eyeballed estimate. I'm going to put some water in here again, and then we'll soak the pads. I actually do always put them down I don't know, I guess because in my mind they're soaking better. I don't know. You can do it however you want. So our bucket is now filled up again, and we're going to let this sit. I am going to put a little bit more water in there because I want to make sure that everything is saturated really well. And then, I don't know, let it sit half hour, couple hours, however long it is, because sometimes I get a little bit distracted, but I would say that the minimum that I soak is a half an hour. Okay, so everything has sat, and again, the water might be a little gnarly again, and it looks like everything is doing pretty dang. I really think that OxiClean does quite a good job at getting staining out. And saves a lot of steps. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and wring everything out again. I don't bother rinsing again because I don't think that it doesn't really matter. This stuff is just going to be going into the washing machine. I don't have really a whole lot of issues with staining cloth pads, and I think it's because of all the steps. So the steps might kind of stink, but a lot of it is a lot of inactive work. You're just waiting for things to go ahead and do what they need to do. So I don't know, I kind of like taking care of things like this because when you take care of things, they last a long time. The next step is for treating stains. So this one has just a little bit of discoloration that I can see on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the hydrogen peroxide in it. I'm going to go through and do the same on all of these, let them sit about a half hour. I've got hydrogen peroxide on everything that needs to be treated for any staining. Going to put it back in the bucket, let it sit about a half hour. Then I'm just going to throw it in with normal laundry. You could throw it in with cloth diapering laundry. You can throw it in with, you know, pretty much whatever. I guess the only thing that I maybe wouldn't put it in with is like kitchen towels, I guess maybe. I don't like to mix kitchen towels with other things just in general, but you know, whatever laundry is going to be totally fine for the most part. Everything's completely flushed at this point. It's just getting everything completely clean with detergent. So I feel fairly confident putting it in with just whatever laundry is going. Name of the game, just kind of keep it simple. I used to not do the hydrogen peroxide step, but I've decided that that is really where a lot of the stain removal comes from. I think that maybe I could get away with not doing the OxiClean portion of it, but I just like, I don't know, like I mentioned before, I like taking care of cloth pads just like I like taking care of the cloth diapers, because when you take care of things, they will last a very long time. And just being very grateful for the things that you have and being very intentional about doing the best that you can have to have good stewardship over the things that belong to you. That is the way in which I care for and wash cloth pads. It's been really nice to slowly start to collect enough that I only have to go through this once, maybe twice through a cycle. I would love to have a few more pads just to be able to like know that I'm not going to need to wash in between, just to be able to do it all in one go. I guess whether having cloth pads and like having to take care of them this way is worth it is going to be up to you. You know, I find it worth it to use cloth pads on top of like other things that I'll talk about, you know, like why I actually use cloth pads, but I find it's more worth it to me to do this like little bit of work. And like I mentioned before, a lot of it's just like inactive work. You're waiting for things to do the work for you. So I don't mind. I don't think that it's a big deal to take care of cloth pads. I don't know. What is working for you? Do you use cloth pads? How do you keep things clean? There are so many different ways. There's so many different ways, and there's lots of different things that people I've seen on the internet, but this is just the way that like makes sense to me. This is how I like to take care of it, and it's been successful. I don't have any staining or like I mentioned on a couple of pads, I think that it must just be the kind of fabric that it is. There's two that they can be a little bit more stubborn on. It doesn't really bother me. I don't know, they're clean. I know that they're clean. So yeah, that is how I take care of cloth pads. What do you do? Do you have any like miracle thing that I don't know about? I do. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like this video and you think that cloth pads are gross, just like don't. Why did you even watch this? Like, why did you watch it all the way through to like hit the thumbs down button or like leave a nasty comment? It just like doesn't matter to me. So you can go away. But I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to ask me any questions in the comment box below, and I will try to help you out with it, or hopefully I can learn something from you also. But thank you so much for watching. It is a good day to have a good day, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.